A false friend and a shadow attend only while the sun shines. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. Actions are the seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. Always acknowledge fault frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. At 20 years of age the will reigns, at 30 the wit, and at 40 the judgment. Better a broken promise than none at all. Big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. By land, they're not making it anymore. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Circumstances make man, not man circumstances. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Don't hit it at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. Dost thou love life, then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. 5 senses in the keeping of their wits. Grief can take care of itself, but to get the full value of a joy you must have somebody to divide it with. He that can have patience can have what he will. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. He that speaks much is much mistaken. Hide not your talents. I saw a few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. I would rather obey a fine lion, much stronger than myself, than 200 rats of my own species. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, you will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. I'm an old man and I have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing with. In this world nothing could be said to be certain, except death and taxes. It is a wise child that knows its own father, and an unusual one that unreservedly approves of him. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them. It is enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. It is the little conveniences that make the real comfort of life. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. But the really great make you feel that, you too, can become great. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire, called conscience. Lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. Let us live so that when we come to die even the undertaker will be sorry. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. Love your enemies for they tell you your faults. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Never argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. Our labor preserves us from three great evils: weariness, vice, and want. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. Right injury is in dust, benefits in marble. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. The art of medicine consists of amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. The man who was a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The younger slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. The reason so many people never get anywhere in life is because when opportunity knocks, they are out in the backyard looking for four-leaf clovers. The truth must be served like a coat and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do and then do it. There are 869 different forms of lying, but only one of them has been squarely forbidden. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. There are three things extremely hard: steal, a diamond, and to know oneself. There is no man living that can do more than he thinks he can. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Think how difficult it is to change yourself, and you will understand how insignificant your opportunities are to change others. To be busy is man's only happiness. Tricks and treachery of the practice of fools, they don't have brains enough to be honest. We lavish gifts upon children, but the most precious gift, our personal association, which means so much to them, we give grudgingly. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. What more valuable than gold? Diamonds. Then diamonds? Virtue. What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others in the world remains and is immortal. Whatever a man's age, he can reduce it by several years by putting a bright-colored flower in his buttonhole. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. When in doubt, tell the truth. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. When you're finished changing, you're finished. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He is sure to find an easy way of doing it. Who have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. He who does many things to get himself loved, he will do all things to get himself envied.